In geopolitics, peace isn't something you ask for, it's something you enforce. Indian defense strategy now operates on a harsh historical truth. The global stage only listens to raw power. Beijing understands this perfectly. Their foreign policy is designed around a single, absolute objective: engineering a unipolar Asia where Chinese dominance is completely unchecked by neighboring rivals. To achieve this, they've deployed the string of pearls strategy. By acquiring strategic port access in places like Gwadar in Pakistan, Hambantota in Sri Lanka, and even Djibouti in Africa, Beijing is constructing a literal naval ring around the Indian peninsula. These commercial investments serve a distinct military purpose. They allow China to dock massive naval vessels and project hard military power directly into New Delhi's backyard. India finds itself systematically encircled. Surrounded by heavily militarized foreign assets, the nation is being forced into a defensive posture, facing a maritime blockade that directly threatens its sovereignty. But the military threat is only half the problem. India suffers from a severe domestic infrastructural flaw, limiting its participation in global maritime trade. The country simply cannot accommodate the massive cargo ships that transport the world's goods. The bottleneck comes down to physical geography. Indian mainland ports have a natural depth of less than 15 meters. That is too shallow for modern megaships to safely drop anchor. As a result, massive volumes of Indian exports have to be loaded onto smaller vessels, shipped out, and then transferred onto larger ships at foreign ports like Colombo or Singapore. Relying on foreign transshipment infrastructure bleeds Indian companies dry. Every year, they lose millions of dollars to extra freight and handling charges simply because they can't load their own goods on their own shores. To break this dependency, New Delhi announced an aggressive counteroffensive, the 75,000 crore rupee Great Nicobar Project. This investment aims to build a deep-water transshipment hub that removes the need for foreign logistics while providing the physical base needed to counter Chinese naval expansion. The project anchors a sweeping geopolitical maneuver known as the double fishhook strategy. By securing allied port access from Oman and Reunion in the west to Indonesia and Australia in the east, India is drawing its own defensive arcs across the ocean. The exact center of gravity for that eastern arc relies on a remote, heavily forested and highly undeveloped landmass, Great Nicobar Island. The island holds one supreme geographic advantage. It sits exactly 75 kilometers from the Strait of Malacca. That narrow waterway is China's absolute weakest link. Every year, $3.5 trillion in global trade and 80% of China's entire oil and gas supply must squeeze through a channel barely 2 kilometers wide at its safest point. Alternative routes offer no real escape. The Sunda Strait is too shallow and cluttered with oil rigs for massive tankers, while the Lombok Strait forces a 3,000-kilometer detour, adding immense delays and fuel costs. Geography has handed India a loaded weapon. By establishing a dominant presence right at the mouth of this 75-kilometer gap, New Delhi gains the leverage to paralyze the Chinese economy almost overnight. To weaponize that geography, the 75,000 crore investment is split into 4 pillars. The first is a mega transshipment hub. Great Nicobar boasts a natural water depth of 20 meters, finally giving India the capacity to host global megaships and cut Singapore and Colombo entirely out of the supply chain. The second pillar is a forward-operating international airport. While it will handle commercial flights, the tarmac is specifically designed to host and launch Indian Air Force fighter jets. The strategic math here is devastating. Operating from this runway, an Indian fighter jet is exactly a 15-minute flight away from striking the Malacca choke point. The remaining infrastructure cements this control. A massive free trade zone to rival Hong Kong will process global goods, powered continuously by modern, high-capacity solar and gas plants providing 24/7 electricity. These 4 pillars convert a remote landmass into a functioning logistics node, placing the Indian Navy in a position to monitor and control one of the world's most congested maritime corridors. Yet the master plan is built on a logistical flaw. Unlike major hubs such as Dubai, Great Nicobar is entirely disconnected from the Indian mainland. Goods processed there still require an expensive secondary sea voyage to actually reach Indian markets. Because of hurdles like this, ground reality looks very different from the blueprints. Despite years of aggressive government announcements, development remains heavily stalled by friction between defense objectives and extreme environmental pushback. To break the gridlock, the bureaucratic process went into overdrive. Normal environmental impact assessments take years to map out ecological damage. For this megaproject, the initial field survey was reportedly rushed through in just 4 days. That speed leads to terrifying discrepancies. Official reports claim the construction will require cutting down 18 lakh trees. But based on standard tropical rainforest densities, the actual number of trees facing destruction is likely between 60 to 70 lakh. Securing the nation's maritime borders demands an unthinkable domestic price. The project replaces a significant portion of India's remaining tropical rainforest with industrial infrastructure, trading biological diversity for a fortified maritime perimeter. Beyond the forest canopy lies an even heavier consequence. This island is the ancestral home of the indigenous Nicobarese and Shompen tribes, who have lived in extreme isolation for centuries. The government's plan strips away massive tracts of legally protected tribal reserves. In their place, authorities intend to import 3.5 lakh outside workers to build and operate the new hub. This massive influx of foreign populations and heavy machinery will inevitably suffocate a fragile way of life. The infrastructure meant to secure the future of the nation will simultaneously erase the history and survival of its oldest communities. India has designed a facility capable of bypassing regional maritime rivals and neutralizing the string of pearls. But building it forces a calculation between national defense and the survival of a unique human culture. We know the cost of global dominance. The question is whether securing a geopolitical advantage is worth the total annihilation of a natural paradise and the people who call it home.